Hi, my name is Blaze, and today I wanted to show you how to make sopa. So this isn't really a tutorial, to be completely honest with you. You're gonna need little noodles. You can use fideo noodles. I'm using these little bow ties. You need consommate, and you're gonna need some tortillas to eat it with, and you're gonna need some ground beef. This costed me $10. What is happening? So yeah, this is all you're gonna really need. This is probably about and some oil. Some olive oil. It doesn't matter what kind of oil, just oil. So yeah, you just pour a little bit in the pan, and then you take your ground beef, and then you start to mash it, and you just kind of like keep doing that. Blah 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 blah. You just keep mashing it because it just tastes better. I mean, the more chunky it is, like, I don't know. That's my preference. I don't know. Some people like chunky meat. That's just not me. That's not me. I don't like that. Right? So we're mashing it, and we're stirring it, and then we're just stirring it and mashing it, and just making sure that, there's not a lot of like big chunks of meat. It's just kind of like the more fine you can get it, the better. But that's, again, my preference. Everybody has their own preference. Now, we're going to take some salt. I don't know how much. And then you just add it. Come on, yeah. You just add some salt. Then you get some pepper. Add some pepper. I got some onion powder. You add some onion powder. And then you get some garlic powder. You just add your garlic powder. And, yeah. You just kind of like, I stepped away for it a little long. Yeah, you just mix it in, and yeah, it's so good. So the way I learned how to make this was by watching my grandma make it. My grandma and my tia Chela, and my mom, they all made this for me when I was a child. They made different variations of this. My mom's the one that made it with the bow tie. I just added some costomate, and yeah. Some basil, I think. I'm not really sure what that was. And I taste tested it. I'm like, oh, I need some more. I'm adding some more. That's kind of like how I make this, to be completely honest with you. I just kind of like add a little bit more and a little bit more into it until I'm kind of like, okay, that is good. Yep. So now we're ready for the noodles. You put some oil. You put some oil in the pan, and then you take your noodle. I'm using the bow tie noodles, because that's what my mom would use. And they're just so fun, little bow ties. I don't know. I think it's fun. So you add your oil in the pan, and yeah, they're going to start crisping. So you'll see I'll add a little more oil. And I don't know. I think it's good. I like it. All right? That's my own personal preference. But I don't know. It's fun. Just like some crunchy little noodles. So yeah, you just kind of keep stirring the noodles. You want to make sure that you don't neglect it, because then they get burnt really fast, So you have to just kind of like stay on top of it. You just keep stirring the noodles and stirring them and stirring them and stirring them. But yeah, my grandma would make a variation of this. She would make fideo, right? And fideo is basically this, but with like a different kind of noodle, like fideo noodles. And she would use onions and tomatoes and other stuff in it. My mom and my tia Chela, she would make sopa. They would call this sopa. And I don't know. It was the same thing, just like a different variation of it. My tia Chela would use these like alphabet, kind of like A, B, C, D, E, F, G noodles. Isn't that fun? Alphabet noodles. And my mom, she would use bow ties. So I don't know. Essentially, you can make this however you want, with whatever kind of protein you want, with whatever kind of noodles you want. I think that the base, as long as it's that costomate, that's all that really matters. That's kind of like what makes the soup. It's kind of like a tomatoey taste. It's really salty. You have to be really careful with the costomate, because it can be really salty if you add too much. So, yeah. I add some water, and I bring it to a bowl, and I am kind of just adding a little bit more as I go, kind of letting it like cook. And you have to be really careful with how much costomate you use, because they can get really salty really fast. And then next thing you know, it goes from bland to overpoweringly salty. I didn't realize that I added too much water at first, so then I tried to take out some water, and then I didn't realize that I took out too much water. So, by the time that the food was done cooking, see, I don't know if you saw that big chunk of costomate that accidentally fell into it, and I made it too salty, but it's all right. Sorry, just add a little more water. Honestly, this is typically how I cook. So if it's like something that I already know how to make, I just make it like this, where, you know, I like cook it, and as I'm going, I add more or take less depending on how it's tasting. I just do like a couple tastes here and there, kind of eyeball everything. I don't typically use recipes unless it's something that I'm doing for the first time that I've never tried before. And then, you know, I try to cook it a couple times, and then after kind of like, you know, getting an idea of how to cook it, then I stop using recipe and just eyeball it like this. So, yeah. It was about this time that the timer went off. The noodles were supposed to boil for like 10 minutes. So I take it off the burner and I pour myself a bowl. And oh, it was so good. It was so delicious. Look, it's my fideo. I haven't had fideo in forever. Oh, I'm really happy that I got to try it. This is like my comfort food because, you know, my grandma, my tia Chela, my mom used to make this for me. So it just reminds me of home somehow. Look. Delicioso. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So yeah, that's how you make sopa. Thank you for watching.